I'm Tony Mavilia, and I'm the director of the Abingdon Square Painters, and we are in our new studio, Studio 302 at the Long Island City Arts Center, 44-02, 23rd Street, Long Island City. And I guess that's an introduction.
Yeah, I think so. That's good. I think that's good. And hi, I'm Zhang. I just recently graduated from NYU with my MA in art history, and I am relocating to the Netherlands to start my own art consulting business on October 30th, so that is very soon.
Wow.
And I'm the curator for the Harriet Fitzgerald show, and I'm very glad that we're having an interview today with Tony.
Great.
Pleasure.
Pleasure's mine. Do you want me to just talk about Abingdon Square Painters a little bit?
Yeah, of course, what you guys have been up to, the ups and downs you've had recently,
Right.
just anything really.
Okay.
Anything will be fine.
Well, as I said, right now we're in our new studio. We moved sort of under duress. COVID reduced our membership, and financial problems have kind of reduced us to another space, and it's a smaller space. Our thinking is that one artist could work in this studio at a time, and because of space restrictions, being 6 feet apart and wearing a mask, we felt that this small space, one artist could work without a mask. They wouldn't have to worry about being, 6 feet from another artist, and that we would arrange our times with each other, that we would call each other and say, I'm going to be at the studio today, or I'd like to use the studio next week. Or one member, she works 9 to 5, so she's always Saturday and Sunday she can use the studio. So that's her studio Saturday and Sunday. For me, it's Monday and Wednesday usually, and Rebecca and Joan Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we have we only have 2 members at this point.
Oh, we're only 3?
Yeah, that's all we've been able to retain.
Oh, okay.
We lost members who, one woman's doctor told her that she cannot get on the subway. She cannot get on. That's her only way to get here. Some of the other members are actually ill, and so we've lost. We're at a low point right now. We've had as many as 15 members.
15?
15,
Oh,
not in our studio here, but on 14th Street, we had as many as 15 members, and usually 4 or 5 would show up a day. Even when we were here, right before CV, we had 10 members. And with 10 members, we were able to operate the studio really well. And so because of Meredith passing away, she was the president. Other members, when schools were closed, they had to stay home to take care of their children, or they were afraid to get on the subway. So now we're at this point where we are, and we're hoping in the next year or 2 that we can start to recruit members. My assumption is that artists will be losing their studios, that they will not be able to pay for the space that they're occupying, and that they might be interested in being in our space and working sort of the way Abingdon Square works, which is an open studio, kind of a more cooperative sort of situation.
Yeah.
So that's what we're hoping.
Yeah, I was actually working for a photographer, and I think she is getting rid of her studio as well to move to a smaller space.
Yeah.
Because the person sharing the studio with her is not using it anymore because he's moved to the countryside to run away from all of this.
Sure.
So, it's a rough time.
It's okay. In this building, Long Island City Arts Center, on the 2nd floor, there were 3 schools. All 3 schools were closed.
Art schools?
One was what they call a paideia, which was kind of almost like a one-room schoolhouse. There were kids of all ages learning together in the space. There was a dance school and a music school on the 2nd floor. All of them are closed. We were offered a space there at a much reduced rate, and even that was more expensive than we could afford here. And this space was rented to us at a rate that we could afford, and that made sense for right now. So we have a 2-year lease. Hopefully in 2 years, if we can, recruit a few more members and bring in more dues, then we can go into a bigger space. We also, I guess I should make a note, but because we're a 501c3, we do get money from the community trust. So we are supported by the community trust. They gave us a very generous donation this year. So that donation should pay for our rent here for the whole year. So we're very fortunate.
Can you talk a little bit more about the organization that donates to the Abingdon Square Painters?
Okay, sure. I don't know when it began, but we've been connected with the Community Trust. The New York Community Trust is an organization that disperses money to all sorts of non-profit organizations. And I don't know what how they compute it, but every year they give us a fund. Should I mention the exact number? They usually somewhere between $10,000 and $20,000 a year.
Oh, that's very generous.
So we get that. I don't know what that amount is based on, but they each year they want our fundraising information. They want to know how much money we've raised through donations. They want to know what exhibits and activities the artists have undertaken for the year. So they really want to know what we're doing. In other words, how do we justify that donation each year? So each year we've had an exhibition, and the members put on either their own shows or they take part in other shows. And then I and Rebecca as well, we've been involved in community art events where we live. She lives in Kew Gardens and I live in Kew Gardens. So we put on, in fact, right now in Kew Gardens, there's a project of 35 artists allowed their work to be reproduced on banners. And the banners are where all the businesses that were closed on Lefferts Boulevard. We put banners there for artwork just to make the neighborhood look better and to show what Kew Gardens artists are doing. In other words, there are many, many artists in Kew Gardens. So Abingdon Square, I took charge with another person in the neighborhood, and we created this art exhibit for the community. And it's really well. The state senator came to look at it. The senator came to look at it.
How neat!
We've got press. We were in 8 different newspapers. So so that was a way to bring art to the community, which is part of our mandate. One of the mandates of Abingdon Square Painters is to bring art to the community, either educating people through art exhibits or going into, let's say, classrooms or neighborhood events or like a street fair and doing an art demonstration and enlisting kids and doing art like that. So because of CV, we couldn't we couldn't have much contact, and we couldn't have, and we said, okay, we have to do something in the street because we don't have a space that people can come into. And we said, well, we can't put original art in the street, other than a day, maybe that day. But so we came up with the idea of reproducing the art on these big banners, and now it's been up since July 9th. And I walk around the neighborhood and I'll see people, they take selfies of themselves in front of the artworks. And which is really interesting, that they really enjoy the people. In fact, we had slated it to be a summer show, and that would have ended September 22nd. So we were kind of talking with people, and they said, "No, don't take it down, please, don't take the show down." So which is really sweet.
That is wonderful.
So we're coming up with another. We're going to leave it up through the winter, and then we're going to get a grant for another show starting in the spring. And that'll be a second. Hopefully, that'll be the last. CV19 art exhibit, that we'll have to put up, and we'll get back to people seeing original art in galleries, the way they're supposed to,
Yeah, I understand.
So